So we had a massive move today in Tesla, up 6.66%. It's a pretty big move for one day. Lots of people getting excited about it, about what this could mean. Why did this happen? So let's take a look at this briefly. So here you can see on my screen, we can see what Tesla did today. Here we go. After hours down a little bit, but big move today. If I zoom out a little bit here, we can see for the month, this is not the high of the month over the last month, but getting up there. We hit 194 not too long ago on, what was that, April 29th. So pretty good move though. And people are trying to figure out why this happened, right? It seems to be the thing everybody wants to know. What's the reason behind why Tesla moved for this reason, for that reason? I'll tell you the main reasons people think. One was the Tesla Semi event announcement video that came out. Lots of good stuff in that. Another reason is the commercial that Tesla made in support of voting for Elon Musk to have his comp package reinstated, plus the reincorporation of Tesla from Delaware to Texas. There's a lot of interesting things in there, a lot of tidbits, I guess you could say. So that's part of it. And then the China numbers today, right? So people are attributing a lot of these reasons to why the stock went up. I am not in that camp. I think, sure, that helps, but I'm of the opinion that there's a bigger thing happening, and I think people are starting to come into the stock. I'm talking about Wall Street wise, heading into the final decision, June 13th, for Elon's comp package and the reincorporation. Now, the reason I think Wall Street started to come in now is because I think they're starting to see what's going to happen with Tesla, with robotaxis and all that, and they want to be in at an earlier price. And this is kind of what Wall Street does, right? They help create a lot of FUD. They make the noise out there. The stock goes down. Tesla shareholders sell out. Here they come in. They ride it back up. Most notably, even someone like Warren Redlick sold 20% of all his shares. And, everybody's got to make their own decisions and do what's right for them. But that's a perfect example. And Bradford Ferguson has said this a few times, and I think he's spot on with this, that even, whenever you start seeing the major Uber bulls of any company stock, whatever, sell, that's normally when you kind of know you're at the bottom. And so I'm sure Warren is a little upset that he sold at 175. But at the same time, I'm sure he could sleep better at night. So it was the right decision for him, his circumstance, what he's worried about. Like he said, he calls it the unknown unknowns. And so if that makes him feel better, more comfortable, then great. It's a very logical decision for him and his circumstance, his situation, and the way he thinks. And so I don't think anyone should be judging anybody on that premise. We don't know each person's situation, or even just everyone has their own thoughts, and everyone has their own risk profile on what they think is going to happen, what they think isn't going to happen. What one person might see as risk, another person might see as a impossibility. So, but with that said, there's reason I bought my call options a few weeks back, and now they're up 30%. So that's fun, but it's because I do think that we are moving into this period of Tesla stock starting to reflect a lot of what's been going on. I mean, if you really think about it, we have gone through Elon selling shares. You remember that back in 2022, selling shares, buying Twitter, now X, all the free speech, Elon's bad, Elon's, letting people do whatever they want kind of thing. The unions going after him, the president going after him, saying he needs to be looked into. His comp package has been taken away from him. We've seen all the competition moving away to hybrids now. We've seen what else? We've seen the whole Red Sea situation where everything had to get navigated around. We've gone through the strikes in what was it, Norway and Sweden against Tesla. That's been resolved. All the protests at Giga Berlin. I mean, you can go on and on. We've gone through all of this. And now I'm of the opinion the tide is turning, that the pendulum is swinging back to center. And a lot of this is kind of subsided. I mean, we've gone through the compact car is going to be canceled. Like a lot of this, and what has been happening under the surface, right? With all this FUD happening, FSD 12 came out. We're pulling forward the next gen vehicle. We got Robotaxi 8.8 event coming up. Tesla Semi seems like that's on a good path forward. Model Y became the best selling vehicle in the world. Cybertruck came out, right? We've seen a lot of good stuff happen, but it hasn't really been priced into the stock, in my opinion. So there's a lot of room to go here. And so I don't think today's move is of any one given thing that happened today. I think it's the continuation of this bottoming process that we've experienced. So let me show you what I'm talking about by sharing my screen again. So here, and I'm not a technical analysis guy, okay? Like, honestly, I don't like this type of stuff, but you know, a trend's a trend and you can't really ignore it. And so back here, you can see this is where we hit our all-time high, or no, excuse me, that's even higher. Let me zoom out even more. Okay, so up here, let's just go on a week. There we go. That's better. So back here, 414. This was back in 2021, I believe. November 2021. That's when we hit our all-time high. And you can see we were in a clear uptrend here. But then since then, we've been on a downtrend. And that's where Elon sold stock. Elon bought Twitter. Look into him. All that stuff happened here. And we've just been on this downtrend nonstop. Now, in that process, we also hit a bottom here. And since then, we hit what I call a second bottom, which was here, right? So it's an upward trend from that perspective, but we still haven't broken out of the downtrend. Now, we are in a very interesting spot now because we are kind of right dead center of breaking out or falling down lower. So we can break out to the downside or break out to the upside. So we're just kind of here in this middle ground at the moment. Now, I'm of the opinion that we are going into the end of the year, we're going to eventually break out of this downward trend and we will finally be back on an upward trend. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I think that's all this is people are starting to come into the stock at this place where really it's just a very fair value with everything that's been baked in at the moment. So that's kind of what I think is happening. And I just want to come on here and kind of give my point of view on Tesla stock and what's happening. I know a lot of people want to have the answer of this one thing, this one reason why Tesla stock went up today, but I don't think there is a one thing. Now, something else I want to be I want to help clear up is there's a lot of I don't want to get too technical here, but there's a lot of excitement around Tesla buying quote unquote Dell Compute. I want to give my 2 cents on this. Now, to be clear, what Dell sells, it's not compute, right? Dell sells servers that already have a CPU, the compute part, and memory and storage, essentially prepackaged in a 2U, 1U, right, servers. Maybe the storage is not attached. Maybe it's a NAS or SAN that's, isolated out, and it's just networking that connects it. But nevertheless, what they sell is, the actual infrastructure, not just the compute part of it, not just the CPU, GPU. And so what I contest is that this deal with Dell has nothing to do with training for FSD or training for Optimus. That's not what it's about. I believe that whatever they're going to buy from Dell is really to build their a on-premise cloud for themselves. And so what would they use this for? Well, let's think of a robo-taxi network, right? If you can use the Uber example, right? Every person is going to have their own profile. That profile is going to have sensitive information, like where does the person live? what's their address, what's their credit card number, what's their date of birth, right? All the sensitive information. Each person's going to have their own profile. Each of those profiles are going to have to be segmented out and isolated so that, nobody else can, see it. No two profiles can, overlap, things of that nature. And so you need a lot of infrastructure to build that out if you're not going to rent space from one of the big hyperscalers. And so I think Tesla's starting to build this out using Dell servers, and they're going to build out their own private cloud on premise. I think that's what's happening here. So I think that's what the whole Dell thing is. I would not conflate that with what's, buying compute from NVIDIA or Dojo, right? Those are two different things. And even Dojo as a service, for example, you would still need all of this other front end infrastructure, like I said, that you would get from Dell to interface, again, your profiles, your environment, all that to be built out. But because you're not going to do that on Dojo, right? Dojo, you would use it for those specific cycles to do your training, but the orchestration of it, the runtime of it, the profiles, the users, the admin work, all that would happen on this Dell infrastructure, if you will. So I think that's what's happening with the Dell environment. And I don't see a lot of people talking about this. Everyone's conflating this with NVIDIA and Dojo. So I just want to, put that out there so at least someone in the Tesla community is aware of it. All right. Last thing I want to talk about is what I see, my take on this whole shareholder vote. And, I keep saying this, don't hope, go and vote, right? So vote, don't hope, because we don't want to be in a place where we hope that the package gets passed and we get reincorporated into Texas. And the way we can get away from hoping is to do our part and go and vote. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, it does. It really does. We need it. Go vote. All right. It takes literally less than 10 minutes. In reality, it takes less than 90 seconds. So just go and do it. All right. Stop thinking, oh, well, everybody else is going to do it, so it's not important. It matters. It does matter. All right. Way more than you think it does. So if you haven't, let this be the call to action. Go and do it. Now, with that said, let me share my screen again. So here's my take. I find it hard to believe that Tesla shareholders will vote down Elon Musk's package and self-destruct their share price, right? So their own investments. Sure, some people like Ross Gerber are trying to virtue signal by saying that they're going to vote no. But he also has less shares than even I do, and he knows most people are going to vote in favor of the comp plan. And so, again, vote, don't hope. So my point in saying this is that, sure, there are a few big mouths out there that want to get the notoriety, that want to get some attention, and they're making a lot of this noise. But Ross doesn't have a lot of shares himself. He has shares on behalf of his clients. Clients are probably voting on their own accord. I doubt he's voting for them. So don't read into too much about what some of these people are saying. And again, I'm of the opinion that we should probably get a higher percent of people accepting this pay package now than they did last time. Last time was like 73%. And the reason I think that is because now there's more retail shareholders that own Tesla than there were last time. And on top of that, now we understand what could happen. If we don't vote in favor of this, it's not that, oh, okay, then he doesn't get his new comp package. No. This could mean that Elon leaves. And if Elon leaves, then everybody who voted no for this is essentially self-destructing their own investment. So why would you do that? You wouldn't. And I'm of the opinion, if you are that vindictive, if you're that pissed off, you're probably not still owning Tesla. You're probably not. I mean, sure, there's, one Tesla shareholder that owns less than 1%, and he's supposed to be the biggest shareholder for Tesla, or individual shareholder. That's retail. But he owns like 0.9%, and he's claiming that he's going to vote no. We'll see what he does. But I don't know. I find it very hard to believe that there are a lot of people that there are that many people still in the stock if they feel so strongly against Elon, against Tesla. I think a lot of those people are probably out by now, and the people who are still in it really believe in the company, believe in the mission, and believe in what they're doing, and believe in capitalism and believe that this man needs to get paid. Don't forget, what happens here is going to be a precedent set forward. And so this can have a lot of ripple effects. So I'm pretty confident that we will be fine, that this won't be a big issue, but we don't know. Elon could walk, right? All this could happen. So don't leave it up to chance. Don't leave it up to hope. Go vote. Now, with that said, we had Warren Redlick. Like I said, he sold 20% of his shares, and he started asking me a few questions. How much do you talk to people outside the bull silo? I said every day, because I do every day. Very few people know that I'm as bullish on Tesla as I am. A few in my inner circle do, but most people really don't. How often do you hear bullshit about Tesla? And I responded frequently about Elon, not much about Tesla. And normally it's just people who think that Elon has just lost it, whatever. And even then, when I ask people like what? Like, give me an example. They never can. At that point, it's my favorite thing to do. When someone says something about Elon or Tesla, I'll be like, oh, like what? What's he done that's crazy? Can you give me an example? What did he do that's extreme far right? Can you give me an example? And they never can, right? It quickly gets to a point where they're like, oh, I don't know. I just heard, just whatever. I just think he's very full of himself. It becomes an ego thing that they end up resorting to. So, but it's funny to point out to them their own brainwashing. So here we have Warren following up saying, so what percent of shareholders believe the bullshit about Elon? Institutional investors consume more lamestream media than the rest of us. And I said to him, the people who have negative feelings about Elon or Tesla that I interface with aren't invested in the company. They're not. I would also say sentiment is quickly moving back to neutral with Elon and politics in the USA. I highlight this because Warren's been out of the country in the Far East, I believe in Thailand. But I do think you're starting to see a sentiment of kind of getting back to the middle of things. I feel like we overcorrected going to the far left, and now we're starting to come back to the middle, right? There was a period there where we wanted to defund the police, and riots were okay, and we were allowing employees to dictate what's happening inside of companies, and just on, right? And all this has kind of been shut down at this point, right? With COVID, we couldn't talk about certain things, so a lot of this has kind of gone back to the middle, I would say. And so then, okay, well, maybe he deleted his comment. Oh yeah, so then he says, the percentage of shareholders who have bought into negative stories about Elon is unknown and unknowable. And so this right here is really the thesis of why he sold, is because the percentage of shareholders who have bought into negative stories about Elon is unknown and unknowable. And my point to Warren was true, and there's lots of things that are unknowable. All right? I don't know when we're actually going to have robotaxis out there. I don't know the date FSD is going to be solved. I don't actually know that Tesla is going to reach a $10 trillion market valuation. I don't know that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. There's lots of things I don't know, but what I can do is put my best intellectual hat on and go based off that. I'm not going to make investment decisions based on what stories that some people who are invested in Tesla might believe or not believe. I'm invested in Elon. I'm invested in the technology. I'm invested in the company. I'm invested in the mission. Everything else is noise. And so for me, I can sleep well at night because of that. Now, I would say for Warren, this is what made him comfortable. So fair enough. I'm not one to, tell him he's right or wrong. If this helps him sleep at night, so be it. It's logical for him. For me, it's not logical. But we each have our own, sense and arithmetic to get to what's logical. Hopefully, you know what yours is as well. All right, so we're going to leave it there. Long or the short, go vote. Tesla stock went up today. Yes. Hey, happy days. Yeah, enjoy it. But I don't think it's any one thing. I think we're seeing a bigger trend. We need to break out of that downtrend to really be meaningful for Tesla. And honestly, after June 13th, hopefully, don't hope, go vote. But all of this should be behind us. We should have Elon's package done. Let's go vote for the reincorporation into Texas, and then we can really start focusing our vision on 8.8 to see what the future is going to look like. So I'll see you there in the future. Hope you guys have a good evening. I love you all. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all that stuff I should have said at the beginning because I'm not the best at this. All right, love you all. Peace.